October 12th, Thursday, 2023. I will now be departing my residence so I can go to the gym and hit chest and the side lateral head of the deltoid. What an exciting day, to say the least. Look how sunny it is right now. Like, on like a random note, I'm pretty sure today's tennis practice for my younger cousin was supposed to be canceled, but now since it's a beautiful day, I don't think it's going to be canceled. So do I actually have enough time to finish a workout before I have to go pick up my cousin at the old tennis practice? Actually, is it a match today or is it practice? I don't know yet. There's a car parked on the side that's supposed to be no parking, so I'll squeeze by real quick. But what a beautiful day indeed. I don't know if you can really tell in this video, but definitely with my own eyes and visual experience, I can see out the windshield right now. It's that the leaves are starting to change color and it's starting to look very beautiful indeed. Life's been very beautiful recently, actually, and it's a combination of a lot of things, but it really just gets me excited about what's in store for the future, right? Like, and that's the fun uncertainty of it. Like, do I know what's going to happen tomorrow? No. Do I know what's going to happen in a week? I could have a rough idea what could happen, but the beauty of it is that I don't know. And that could be scary, that could be terrifying, but that little sense of uncertainty always makes me feel a little bit more alive every time I do feel it. I say that as I come upon, I actually hate this turn that goes out of my neighborhood, because there are just some times where it seems like an infinite amount of cars, because they're always spaced out so evenly that it never gives me a chance to actually get out. But, my eyes. Maybe I should have worn contacts today and worn some sunglasses, because it is very, very bright today. It does feel nice. Maybe today might be another day that after I get finished with my workout, that I come back home, eat my post-workout meal of around 50 grams of protein and then mysterious amount of carbs, and try to hover it around 800 to maybe even 1,000 calories for the meal. Actually, I do wonder. I think I want to start tracking my calories more too. Right now, I've just been eating as much as I could to some extent, where like, maybe there's some days I eat 3,000 calories. Maybe there's some days I eat 1,800 calories. I don't know. Like, and I feel like if I make that a little bit more consistent, I can at least track if I am being a little bit more consistent of the bulk, some might say. But I do think to some extent I have eaten enough to at least bulk up some amount of mass, because if we go back into the past of May 2023, where I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I got sick for 2 weeks, for like a total of like, I think it was like a month and a half, maybe 5 weeks of not really eating consistently and not working out, which ended up being, I plummeted down to 137 pounds during that time, which was kind of scary, because I remember like, I just felt so weak. Well, that's also probably because I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and that's a completely different story about how miserable that was. But, ooh, do I have an opening right now? Come on, go. And off I go, and I didn't even have to honk at all today. And now I like to say that I'm hovering around the 160 area, because I talked about this with a couple people, but like, it is crazy how much your weight fluctuates just even like 1 to 5 pounds. Like, which if you think about it, like, that doesn't sound like much to some people, but the more I think about it, like, imagine just picking up like a 5-pound dumbbell and that being the weight difference that you have daily. Like, this will also be kind of funny and ironic if this is how I found out that I have like some sort of underlying health issue that makes me fluctuate. But looking up on Google and talking to some people, it seems that sometimes even up to 5 pounds weight difference, just off water weight and just, if you went to the bathroom or not, makes that big of a difference in your body, that like your body could be 5 pounds lighter, 5 pounds heavier. And again, doesn't seem like much in the long run, but then if you pick up a 5-pound dumbbell, like, yeah, it's not the heaviest thing in the world, but like, still got some substantial mass to it. That it's kind of amazing if you think about how our body regulates stuff constantly. And like, I know this sounds like going into like the whole premise of like, oh, like, it's so weird how like a human body works, but it really is weird if you think about it, because like, you eat more, you gain mass, you eat less, you lose mass. Like, That's such a wacky concept to think about, that our body can just do that. And even the idea that it just regulates whatever nutrients, whatever water, whatever that you put into it, and then you can even have a 5-pound difference just from drinking less water in the day, just is crazy to me. It seems I'm back on my theoretical more. Let's think about how the human body works mindset, which that's going to go into the next thing, where I did 6 sets of quads, 6 sets of hamstrings, 2 sets of calves yesterday. And I think I like to say that calves aren't sore, or at least, actually, never mind, they're pretty sore actually. I didn't realize it, but then when I actually started flexing my calves, they are indeed quite sore right now. And that's just off of 2 sets right there. And then 6 sets of hamstrings, 6 sets of quads. I like to say my legs are very sufficiently sore at the moment. Like, and I know I read a couple things, I've seen a couple of videos where it says soreness is not always an indicator of if you got, a sufficient enough of a workout. But I mean, I know I gotta pause for a second too, because what if I am just completely wrong and I'm just being sore for the idea of being sore? But I'm almost kind of proud in a way that I am sore after dropping the amount of sets so drastically. Like, again, I'm thinking about my old quad workout that was literally like a month ago, which it was 4 sets of hack squat, 2 sets of like the sissy squat on the hack squat. So we're already at 6 sets, so that should have been it right there, right? And then I would do 4 sets more, so we're already at 10 sets, right? On the leg extension, and then I will do 2 more sets of single leg extensions, and I would have a total of 12 sets. And even for hamstrings too, I used to have, I think, 10 to 12 sets as that, because I used to do 4 sets of RDL, 4 sets of seated leg curl, and then I started doing 2 sets to 3 sets of lying down leg curl. So yeah, but to drop that amount, like, I like to think quite a substantial amount of sets and still be sore the day after, I like to think I'm doing something right at the moment. I like to think I'm not completely wrong and crazy. Like, I'm not saying I found some original secret number. Like, oh guys, did you know 6 sets is the magic number? No, I looked at other people. I looked at other articles. I looked at other videos. And this is the accumulated knowledge that I have so far. And also checking my own body too to see what works out for it. And I think I'm going to start trying for 6 sets, at least for legs. I think 6 sets per body part, 2 for calves is going to be the magic number for me for the time being. Well, if I need to tinker with it, that's great too, because that means, I wasn't right. And is that going to be an issue if I wasn't right? Kinda. That means I might have had some less than efficient workouts along the way, but if I learn along at the end, isn't that the final goal of it all? So now I'm thinking today too, is 6 sets the magic number? Maybe, who knows? But keeping it 6 sets has really been making me a lot more aware of each set that I do, that I really try to hone in and make sure that each set is the best that I could possibly perform and nothing more. And I have noticed too, like even before when I would do 4 sets of everything, that I would definitely notice that the first 2 sets felt good and the last 2 sets always felt a little bit, kind of like I was on fumes and just trying to eke out the last couple of reps, which I know that is technically what going to failure is, but sometimes I remember like I felt like I had like a subpar set just because I felt too tired during it. So the idea that I get, 2 really good sets where I'm at full drive makes more sense the more I think about it. And I feel like a lot of like common sense things too. It's like where I can listen to my body, see what it works out for me, and then I just keep on doing that until I get ripped, I get jacked. I finally get to look back at pictures from 2015 and I go, I don't look like that anymore. I have muscles. But yeah, I want a beautiful day. Chest on the agenda. I'm thinking 2 sets of incline bench press, whether that be on the Smith machine or on the barbells. And then after that, I'm thinking 1 to 2 sets. So here's what I'm a little bit conflicted about, is that for chest, I've been doing 8 sets recently, which has been 2, 2, 2, 2 of 4 exercises. And even then, I think that might be a little bit too much, because I definitely noticed on the last 2 sets, like the 7th and 8th set of usually the cable high to low, whatever they're called, it doesn't feel like, it feels good to, get extra blood pumping to the chest area and feel like I'm getting a better pump, but I feel like I'm not really getting any extra work in, if that makes sense. Like, do I have any scientific reasoning or even some anecdotal, tangible evidence to say that? No. But it's just a feeling, and sometimes you gotta trust your gut feeling, right? Could I be completely wrong as well? Yeah, maybe those 7 to 8 sets are what are promoting growth, and I'm missing out on it. But will I know for sure? No. And that's why experimentation is needed. A little bit more study to the data pool must be added. A little bit more data. Did you guys know the singular term for data is datum? I could be completely wrong about that too, but I just remember that in high school, some kid kept telling me that the singular form of data is datum. And then for some reason, I just remembered it. It just stuck with me I just said, I'm going to remember this probably for the rest of my life. That guy's license plate says AMV, and every time I think of AMV, I just think of anime music videos. I remember I used to be really into those. I remember some people always make like Linkin Park, Naruto versus Sasuke, animated music videos of the fight scene, and I thought those are the coolest things ever. And I still think animated music videos are cool. Like, it doesn't have to be anime music video. No. I just think animation is cool, and I feel like it should just be, really be not studied, but like taken appreciation of for more than just being a medium for children. Because obviously, yes, there are cartoons. A lot of animated things are catered towards children, but there's also a lot of well, not a lot. There are animated things that are not for children, and I think they're extremely cool because there are things that you just can't mimic in live action with real people, with how you can do it in animation and get wacky with it, get absolutely silly. Well, is this going to be a blessed gym session? There are a very little amount of cars here at the gym in the parking lot. Unless I just came right before rush hour, and it's going to get busy the moment I start my workout, but I'm hopeful. Actually, I don't think I even need my little hoodie right now to go in. I turned my car up before I could see what the temperature was outside, but I'm actually going to take this off. My favorite yellow hoodie. Maybe I should wear my yellow shoes too to really accommodate and get a matching setup. But 30 minutes of cardio first, and I think I'll see you on the first working set of preferably Smith machine bench press on an incline. So every single machine that I want to use is taken. So I haven't done dips for a chest workout, I think in months, but the incline press was taken, all the chest presses were taken, even the Smith machine was taken again after it became open. So I think just one set of this, and now I look for a pec deck, call it a day. Every equipment and piece of thing I want to use today just happens to be taken, and not even on the pec deck machine that I hate. But we move on. you're done with chest now. A bit unorthodox, but since I only did 5 sets of chest today, I'm going to do 1 set of front deltoid and see how it feels. It's time for some side lateral raises. Today is another very interesting day. Where yesterday I kind of counted for how exhausted I felt for maybe, you know, the lack of sleep that I got. And even then, as I said, I dropped the amount of sets to 6, 6, 2 for 6 for the quads, 6 for the hams, and 2 for the calves. And then even today, as I said, everything is actually quite sore. Like, it's not unbearable or anything, but they definitely feel as sore as when I used to do 12 plus sets per muscle group. And that's even including calves. I remember calves, I used to do 4, 4, 4 also, and I used to do 3 different variations of calf exercise. I would do the seated one, the standing one, and then this kind of like laying back one. And even I think, maybe it wasn't 12 maybe for calves, maybe it was more around 8. Because I used to do, actually no, 10 actually. I think it was 4, 4, 2 is what I used to do back then. But today got even wackier, got even sillier, got even more experimental today, where due to the fact that I've never seen my gym this busy before, and I don't know if it can be shown in the camera angles, because I will say every time I film a set, I do my best to put it away from the center of other people. Like, so for example, if I see somebody in frame, I'll try to reframe it or even put it to a different side so that nobody is seen in the background. And that's just because, you know, some people might not like being in the background of somebody's film, and I completely understand that, and I want to make sure that I respect that too. But sometimes you just can't avoid it. So I mean, as you can see, there are definitely people in the background. But today was one of the busiest I think I've ever seen my gym, where like it was the first time in a really long time where I would look around and I have like an exercise I have in mind, right, that I want to do, and it's taken. So I look to, oh, what about the spare machine? It's taken. Then I go, all right, what about the alternate exercise I want to do? Like, for example, since I can't do the pec deck, I will go on a flat bench and then do pec flies, like, right, with the dumbbells, right? Every single bench is taken. So I start thinking, all right, what if I do that one thing I saw in the Sam Sulek video where he starts laying down on the floor and start doing pec flies like that? This is gonna sound ridiculous. There wasn't even space on like the open turf ground, mainly because there was a guy doing like long jump, long hurdle. He was doing some sort of weird track, long distance jumping thing across the entire thing. So he was already occupying half of that, the turf, doing that. And then the other half was a bunch of people stretching, and I just literally couldn't find a spot just even to lay down. So that had to get out of the plan. So that's why I added in a little bit of machine assisted dips today for a little extra chest stimulus. And that was only for 1 set too. And the thing is, here's the wackiest part about today. I only did 5 sets of chest today. And the craziest thing is, on the 3rd set, which was that 1 set of machine assisted dip that I did, I was already starting to, well, technically speaking, I already start to feel blood rushing to the chest area after my 2 sets of barbell incline, which was once again on the barbell and not on the Smith machine, because the Smith machine was taken. And then here's the very inconvenient story today. Right when a Smith machine opened up, none of the benches were open. So I just had an open Smith machine and no bench. So still can't do an incline bench press without no bench, right? So I stayed on the barbell. And then I also didn't record my 2nd set, which was my set to failure, because I asked an older gentleman for a spot, and he was super nice about it too. But I also was a little bit wary. I thought about maybe asking, hey, is it cool if I film my set? But then he also looked like he was kind of busy, and I didn't want it to be like, hey, can you spot me real quick, Mr. Sir? And then he sees me fumbling with my camera and tripod for like 3 minutes, and he's just sitting there impatiently tapping his footer. Again, like, am I just making this scenario up in my head? Yes, I am. But these are the thoughts that dwindle in my mind, that plague me at times, where majority of people, not even, maybe not majority, maybe some people just go, hey, I'm going to film a set. Is that cool with you? And that's it. That's all they ask. But in my mind, I go, all right, this is an older person. Maybe they're not used to people filming. Maybe they think it's weird. Maybe they'll have questions. Maybe they won't like it. And then I keep thinking about that. And in the end, I just didn't ask. So technically, my second set to failure doesn't even exist. I could just lie that I did, a second set of barbell incline. And what would I even have to say for it? Other than you have to trust my word. But I indeed do it. And here was my one issue. Did I appreciate him spotting me? Yes. But I'm a little bit conflicted right now, because I haven't been spotted especially when I do bench press that many times. I think I can literally count on one hand. I think I've asked for a spot 4 times in my entire lifting career. But some people refuse to touch the bar, which I kind of like, actually, because it kind of makes me feel like every single rep I did was from my own willpower, my own strength, right? Until I asked him for help. But this gentleman, I don't know if he just thought I was weak. I don't know if that's just the way he's used to spotting. And I also I should have clarified with him, saying, please do not touch the bar at all until I ask for help. Because now that I think about it, yeah, maybe it is my fault, actually. Maybe that's his way of being more preemptive, and maybe he thought I was a beginner and he wanted to make sure I didn't get injured. So you know what? I'm not going to be conflicted. You know what I learned from this, actually? Next time I ask for a spot, all I have to do, instead of overthinking it in a stupid car ride back, is just clearly and verbally tell the person, do not touch the bar under any circumstances until I say help. Because what ended up happening is, I think around the 6th rep is when my tempo started to slow down a bit. So I started going down slower, which technically would make it harder. But I don't know, if I go down too fast, when I know like it's gonna be like a hard rep, I feel like I can't prepare for it enough, so I have a harder time bringing it back up. So even though I know it's technically more strain to bring it down slowly and controlled and then to push it back up, I like it more mentally, because it makes me mentally prepare a little bit more before I go for that push back up. But around the 6th set, I think he started noticing I was starting to slow down. And was it very light touches? Yeah, but he had his finger like this, and then he slowly brought it up. And then the thing too is, like, I can't just say like, oh, he didn't touch the bar, that was all you. I could feel the bar getting lighter. That man is a behemoth. Also, I kind of wish I filmed that set, because this is a mammoth man. Like, I'm gonna assume this man's in his like 50s or 60s, but he is jacked. He is freaking jacked. And that's why I also asked him for a spot, because I felt very safe in his presence. And that being said, I was very safe in his presence. I never felt safer on a spot before, because, like, as I said, he assisted me for like the last 4 reps. So I never really got any of those, like, how should I say, like those real teeth gritting reps where like you really just, because I think when he noticed I started struggling, he would like very variably start putting in a little bit more pressure into his fingers. And then each time, as I said, the bar felt lighter all of a sudden. So he was putting in some sort of force into it, which was amazing. Like, it felt nice. It felt like I was getting stronger, which was technically wasn't, because the bar was getting lighter. But so yeah, I learned my lesson. Next time I get a spot, or maybe, who knows, that also felt nice too, because I could actually get more reps out that way. So am I thinking maybe some days I ask for no assistance on the bar, though? Maybe some days I ask for some assistance on the bar, because those reps felt really nice and clean, and they didn't feel like, it felt like I was still pushing it to the limit, but less along the lines of like, I'm gonna pop a blood vessel doing it, which I don't think I've ever pushed myself that far to the point where I think I'm gonna like explode. But I feel like that's still like somewhat relatable, where like some reps, especially like the last reps of some sets, you're really just gritting your teeth and just going like balls out to the window, going ah. But today didn't feel like that. Today just felt like a moderate but it still felt nice. And I think because of his assistance, I was shooting for mainly 6 to 8, preferably 7, because last week I did a set of 6 and a set of 7. So I thought my first set today was a set of 7. So if I hit 7 again, that means I technically made progression, because that's one more rep than last week, which I still call that a huge deal to me, in my opinion, because I always I always had such a hard time advancing in terms of strength on any sort of bench press that any little progression I get, I'm happy with it. Whether that be literally one extra rep that I got compared to last week, like I'm still going to be very happy about it, because before I would have zero progression and that would actually not hurt me mentally, but it still kind of weighed on me a little bit, if I'm being honest. But I think I made it to 9 reps, but it was mainly 6 full reps of mine and then 3 reps that I would consider assisted at this point, which still felt like I got a lot of chest stimulation. So I still think that gentleman did a fine job, and maybe I'm just being nitpicking, and maybe it's just a new world for me, so I just wasn't used to that type of spot. But, you know, thinking back on and reflecting on it now, I'm actually very grateful that I even got to experience that now, because now I have another tool in the tool belt where I can be like, all right, the last 3 reps, if you think I'm struggling, give me like a slight lift off, because then I can get cleaner reps, more reps, versus sloppier, more 100% me reps. Like, I feel like they both have their time and place, and today was a good learning experience for that. The more we learn, am I right? Oh, wait. After I did that, I mean, at this point, I don't even care. Like, it already happened, but the car next to me just stared at me, because I think they noticed I'm talking to myself, staring at a camera, and then we made slight eye contact, and then I immediately looked over here, but they're still next to me. Just look straight, get me out of traffic, I don't want to be here anymore. Okay, we passed that car now, and I can freely be non-judged. That being said too, again, I know I went on like an entire tangent, but I only did, so chest was already, like, in terms of like the amount of sets I do compared to other exercises, definitely did not do as much compared to other stuff. Because I think definitely the biggest offender of me doing a lot of junk volume or just a lot of sets in general was definitely quads. Because I remember seeing one video on Instagram where it said quads can take a lot of damage, so don't be afraid to overtrain them. Which I took that to heart, because what did I do after that? I would start doing 20 plus sets of quads at times. The 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 of every single exercise that I do mentality. But even just dropping that to 6 felt good, felt pumped. And I feel like I can actually make progression because I'm not so exhausted after doing 20 sets of one muscle. And even today, I think before I used to do 4 to 5 sets of bench press of any variations, which let's just say I already did 5. And then I would do some sort of machine chest exercise, whether that be like my favorite hammer strength isolateral incline press. I would do that also for 4 sets. So already just off of 2 exercises, I'm at 9 sets. And then I would do 4 sets of pec. Never mind, I think chest I would do like 15 plus sets also, thinking back on it. And how many sets did I do today? I did 5 sets of chest. And on the 4th set, which was my first set of pec deck today, it felt amazing. Like, I had a chest pump already, and they felt fully pumped, and they felt fully worked at that point. And at that point, I was like, maybe I could stop it at 4. But then I thought, I think I have a little bit extra fuel in the reserve. So I went for the 5th set, and that still felt really good, because I still got the amount of sets that I was like happy with, because it matched the 1st set. And then even I eked out a couple partials, and I really thought at that point I could do a 6th set of a chest exercise, but why? They feel like they've been fully worked. Like, could there be like some marginal gains I left at the table? Maybe. And that's still like up for experimentation and interpretation, because I don't know if I'm fully 100% right. I don't even know if I'm right at all anytime I go into the gym, but that's why it's been so fun, because it's constant experimentation and constant testing that I'm like learning about myself in a way. Like, am I learning about myself mentally? Not quite, but even then I feel like learning about myself physically is going to aid in me learning about myself mentally. And I'm excited. I'm excited to continue this journey. I'm excited to keep working out and then see visual and physical progression of my body changing, and also see if I also have a better mental outlook because of it. Could there be some spots where it goes up and down, where it takes a hit to my mental health and physical health? Maybe. Sometimes it's inevitable, but I feel like that'll also be helpful, because if I have those instances, I know how to prevent it next time. For example, I didn't hurt my lower back doing my dumbbell side lateral raises today, which also did not get filmed, because let's talk about the thing real quick. Did 5 sets of chest, 2 sets of bench press, 1 set of dips, machine assisted, 2 sets of pec deck for a total of 5 sets of chest. And since I normally did 6 to 8 sets of chest, I thought, all right, maybe I still have a little bit of fuel left in the frontal deltoid region. So what did I do? Something I took off the routine for a little bit was any sort of front delt exercise, because I felt like they got sufficiently worked in all the pressing that I did. But I felt like since I didn't do that much pressing today, let's put in 1 set of shoulder presses. And lo and behold, shoulder press, here's the problem. I would always do them after my chest exercises, which also incorporate a little bit of front delts, right? But then today, since I didn't do that much pressing, normally doing 40 pounds on the machine that I usually do it on, I could maybe get like 6 subpar reps out. But today I felt like I got 10 good reps, good, and just a good overall set, where afterwards I tried doing another set after like maybe like a minute, maybe not even, maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, whatever time period that was in between of rest, and I couldn't get anything up. So I was just like, all right, maybe 1 set was fully sufficient enough. After that, and here's another wackier part, I did 5 sets of chest, 1 set of front delt, and then I only did 2 sets of side delt today of dumbbell lateral raises. And I thought about doing more. I did my 2 sets and they felt exhausted. Like, I don't know if that's a bad sign, maybe it's a good sign, but just me carrying my water bottle and like just my belongings in the tripod out of the gym, I felt my shoulders like tightening up, and I'm just like, oh my God, I've never had that happen before. And it was nuts. I only did 2 sets, and then I thought I normally at least try to do minimum of at least 4 sets of side delts, because my mentality is I do 2 to 4 sets of dumbbell lateral raises, and then I try to do 2 to 4 sets, depending on what I'm feeling that day, of cable side lateral raises. But unfortunately, all the cables were taken today, but then I also took the executive decision thinking, I did 2 hard sets of side lateral raises with the dumbbell, and they feel sufficiently worked. Do I need more? That's the hypothesis for today. Hypothesis being, I think 2 sets of hard side delt exercise is enough for me. And then I see if it's proven true by if I keep doing it and I see development, or if I keep doing it and I don't see development. If I don't see development, then maybe we up the amount of sets. We up the intensity a little bit. But I think intensity, I'm doing pretty well on. Like, each one of these sets feel good. Like, I feel like I really pushed it to the limit. But if I need a couple more sets, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, that's not that hard, right? Only thing I regret today is I kind of wanted to add in like a quick ab exercise, but I just got overwhelmed today because of how many people were at the gym. So I felt fully worked, so I left. But now I got to think about what to eat. But if I don't see you, or see myself, let's say, for a cooking/eating portion, I'd like to wish everybody a good day.
I'm feeling incredibly lazy today, so we have a sandwich, which I literally only put chicken in because I thought we had other vegetables, but they're not chopped or cut, and I really don't want to do that right now. A delicious Korean, I don't even know what to call this, salad, stir-fried salad, and then a delicious mug of a fiber drink, and I think after that I'll have some cabbage soup. And I think that should round about to enough sustenance for the day. Also, another funny story is the reason I didn't, I didn't record my set of my dumbbell side lateral raises because I was doing it in like the yoga room, and I was just surrounded by women, and I didn't want to be like the creepy guy just filming in there by myself, so like I didn't film. So that's the story of that. But bon appetit.